Tyreek Hill didn't need to say much after the Miami Dolphins wrapped up their regular season. His words? Just a mirror reflecting what everyone already knew. The season fell apart. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to end in disappointment, in frustration, in another long offseason of unanswered questions. But here we are. The Dolphins, a team that entered the year with playoff expectations, if not more, closed the book with an 8-9 record. No postseason. No deep run. Just another year added to the pile of almosts and what-ifs. Mike McDaniel, in his third season as head coach, now finds himself facing the kind of pressure that can change careers. No more goodwill. No more patience. This is a franchise that thought it had finally turned the corner, only to stumble into the same wall it's been crashing against for decades. And then there's Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback Miami invested in $212.4 million over 4 years, to be exact. The franchise guy. The answer. The hope. But what happens when your hope can't stay on the field? What happens when the face of your franchise spends more time in the locker room than under center? That's exactly what the Dolphins were forced to reckon with. Tagovailoa's season unraveled in Week 2 against Buffalo. A concussion. The kind that makes you hold your breath and wonder about the long term. The kind that forces uncomfortable conversations. And suddenly everything changed. The offense that was built to explode stalled. The rhythm disappeared. The Dolphins went from contenders to survivors, just trying to stay afloat. He came back 5 weeks later, against Arizona. The team clawed its way to a 5-4 record in that stretch. But it never quite felt secure. It never quite felt like Miami had control. Then, just as quickly as he returned, he was gone again. Another injury, another frustrating setback. The final 2 games of the season played out like a slow-motion car crash. The Dolphins went 2-5 in the games Tua missed. They cycled through quarterbacks like a team desperately flipping through an old playbook, hoping to find a solution that wasn't there. Skylar Thompson? Gone. Signed with Pittsburgh in January. Tyler Huntley? A mid-season pickup from Baltimore's practice squad, now eyeing free agency. So where does that leave Miami? Staring at a question it has tried to ignore for far too long. What's Plan B? The problem isn't just about finding a backup quarterback. It's about the reality that Tagovailoa has yet to prove he can be available when it matters most. A team built around speed, precision, and timing can't function when the most important piece of the puzzle is missing. Miami has a choice to make. Do they roll the dice on another veteran? Another bridge quarterback who can keep the seat warm but doesn't offer much beyond that? Or do they turn to the NFL draft, hoping to find someone who can not only step in when needed but perhaps even challenge the status quo? That's where the latest speculation gets interesting. In On3's latest 3-round mock draft, the Dolphins are projected to trade up in the 3rd round, making a move with the Houston Texans to snag Oregon's Dillon Gabriel at pick 89. It's a move that makes sense in more ways than one. Gabriel isn't just another prospect. He's a quarterback who fits the mold of what Miami already has. His game mirrors Tagovailoa's in ways that would make the transition seamless. Quick release, downfield aggressiveness, mobility when necessary, even the left-handed throw. It's all there. For McDaniel's system, continuity matters. Gabriel wouldn't force a reworking of the offense. He'd step in and run it the way it was designed to be run. 6 seasons in college, 64 games, over 18,000 passing yards, 189 total touchdowns. Numbers that scream experience. Numbers that suggest a quarterback who isn't coming into the league wide-eyed and overwhelmed. Accuracy, 65.2% completion rate. Good enough to show consistency, but not so high that it raises red flags about conservative play. The elephant in the room. 3rd-round quarterbacks don't often pan out. History isn't kind to them. But history also doesn't dictate the future. The Dolphins wouldn't be drafting Gabriel to be the guy immediately. They'd be drafting him to be the insurance policy, the safety net. And in a season where the margin for error is razor-thin, that kind of insurance might be worth its weight in gold. Because let's be honest, what happens if Tagovailoa misses time again? What happens if 2025 turns into another cycle of injuries, backups, and uncertainty? The Dolphins can't afford to keep running in circles. They need answers. Maybe Dylan Gabriel isn't the answer. Maybe he's just another name on a long list of quarterbacks who never quite made the jump. Or maybe, just maybe, he's the piece that finally gives Miami the stability it has been chasing for years. Either way, the clock is ticking. The Dolphins don't have the luxury of time anymore. Decisions are coming. And the future of this team, one way or another, hinges on getting them right.